Hello, welcome to the introductory video related to the Mapping Ancient Africa project that we are just about to launch. The Mapping Ancient Africa project is jointly funded by the Paleoclimate and Human Biosphere Commissions of the International Union for Quaternary Research, INQUA. And the project is led by myself, Will Gosling, and Stephanie Caboth-Barr, who is based at the University of Potsdam. What I'm going to do now is just give you an insight into what we're trying to do and the setup for the very first workshop that we're going to have on this. So, what is the point? Why are we doing the Mapping Ancient Africa project? Well, to give it its full title, it's Mapping Ancient Africa, Climate, Vegetations, and Humans. And this stems from a key question. What was the link between climate change, hominin evolution, cultural development, and dispersal in Africa over the last 4 million years? So what were those relationships? And although this has been a topic of much discussion over many years, bringing together information from different disciplines to address these questions and to think about it is still lacking. So what we want to do in this broad framework is bring together archaeologists, paleoclimatologists, climate modelers, palynologists, paleoecologists, anthropologists into a room to try and get data sets into a format where we can compare them. This is building on previous work that I've been involved with, which has been focused on getting palynological data sets together for the African pollen database. And here you see a picture from a workshop just before the COVID crisis, which we held, which was to get scientists together to collate data sets related to palynology. Now we want to take those data, convert them into climate metrics, link them to archaeological data sets, link them to modeling outputs, and see how we can better understand vegetation, climate, and human evolution and activity within Africa. So that's our kind of overall purpose. Who are the people involved? Well, there is a big list of 20 or 30 people who are already signed up to be part of this. You can find those on the website, which is linked at the end of this presentation. The key people in terms of the organization are Rahab, Stephanie, Lynn, and Sarah. They will be organizing the regional hubs. Because of the restrictions related to COVID and international travel, instead of having a big meeting or big workshops where we get everybody together, the idea is that we have a hub in Eastern Africa, a hub in Southern Africa, a hub in Europe, and a hub in North America, where we can get scientists who can travel regionally together, so they can talk about stuff, discuss stuff face to face, because I think that's a very productive way of conducting science. And then we will link up those hubs online in the virtual environment. If you can't make it to one of those regional hub meetings, don't worry, there will also be opportunities for people to participate online into those meetings, both at the regional hub level and the integration level. So the idea is to include as many people as possible and try and foster scientific interactions in as many different ways as we can in this different movement configuration that we find ourselves at the moment. So what's the plan? The plan is to think about data sets from a variety of different sources. Where are we going to get this information from? And the idea is to, as there's a clue in the title, map various things of these out. So thinking about the climate and vegetation and empirical data, how do we collate climate vegetation data from around the world, climate data from around Africa, around the world, and convert that into something meaningful? So we want to use the work with the African pollen database, use the new transfer functions that have been developed by Chevalier et al. To try and get estimates of climate spatially for different time periods across Africa. Also get information from physical proxy data, compile dust and sedimentological data from the marine records. How can we bring these all together to create a comprehensive picture of what was changing through the vegetation and the climate from empirical data sets? We want to link that from modeling approaches, and we've been we have some modelers involved working on simulating vegetation and climate conditions in the past. How can we extract information from those models to think about creating maps of past conditions from those time periods? So we've got the empirical data, the empirical climate estimates, and then we've got modeled surfaces or estimates. Do these agree? What are the patterns that come out? How do we look at that? And what does that tell us about that link between vegetation and climate? And then, of course, finally, we want to link in the archaeological data sets, hominin bones and artifacts, what are there associated other animals or evidence that we can link to hominins because the record is so sparse, and can we put those into a framework, a spatial framework and temporal framework, which maps onto the climate maps, the climate models that we're producing from the other points of view. And then hopefully we can start to see if any patterns, spatial and temporal patterns, emerge related to that activity or changes, dispersal events, and climatic changes. So we can start to think about mechanisms. And what are we on the hook to produce at the end of this? Well, we want to create a platform for the collaboration between those different scientific disciplines. We want to build that environment in terms of being as inclusive and equal opportunity as possible. So if you're not already engaged, if you want to participate in this, please do get in contact either with regional hub leaders or myself. Details can all be found on the website. So creating a safe environment for those people to showcase their results, act with other people, and to get things together. We're going to have outputs in terms of scientific seminars. We're going to produce a special issue of Quaternary International, which is the journal of the International Quaternary of INQUA. And we hope to deliver a session at the INQUA meeting in Rome 2023, when hopefully more of us from around the world can also get together and really meet each other. So hopefully that's all going to be fun. Hopefully we're going to pull together a lot of useful information. So that brings us to how do we start this off? The kickoff workshop is in October, and there are meetings at 4 different locations around the world, in Kenya, in South Africa, in Germany, and in North America. What are we going to be doing at those workshops? We will be thinking a little bit about what data sets are available. We have a good idea about where some of those data are. What is it? Is there anything that's missing? Is there anything else that could be mobilized as part of this that we could get into these databases so we can make a more complete picture? How are we going to deal with the time period? We've set ourselves a rather ambitious timescale of 4 million years. But how are we going to divide that up? Obviously, as we get closer to the modern, we have more data sets, but as we go further back, we have kind of more gaps. How are we going to deal with that? What are the time bins that we're going to work with? How are we going to deal with multiple spatial scales? I think it's important for this project to think across different scales. So what is going on? Do we have particular case studies where we have multiple proxies, different environments, which we can bring together as an important particular location that we understand a lot about? Can we do regional syntheses from different aspects of Africa, collating the paleoclimate or the paleovegetation mapping? And how do we scale that up to the continental scale mapping so we have these overall outputs that we're interested to do? So at the end of those first workshops, we need to have agreement on what is going to be the themes of the seminar series that we're going to do from each of the regional hubs. It's perfectly possible to do more than one seminar from each hub, but we'd like to have at least one to showcase the research that's going on there. what are the contributions going to be for that quaternary international special issue, coming out of individual hubs potentially, working across hubs. The hubs shouldn't be seen as kind of buckets that we have to work within. They are just really organizational necessities because of the travel restrictions at the moment. So how do we work across those? What are the people doing that? And then the key from that is to identify a leader for each contribution, who's going to be responsible for that. So I know who to chase, people know what they're doing, and we can really get those outputs together and work out the timescales that we're going to do that on. And that sort of brings me to the end of this. There's a few references and useful links there that I've referred to in the presentation. Hopefully that's been helpful and interesting. I do hope that everybody, if you're out there, you could be interested to join. This gives the people who've already agreed to be part of this, part of what's an insight of what we're trying to actually do, and attract other people in as well. So, very best wishes. Thank you very much, and hopefully see you in person or online sometime soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.